Diane, I'm listening to a podcast, Black Lodge Trivia Night. I've never heard so many game aspirations in my life.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Black Lodge Trivia Night. I'm Patrick. It's kind of more like Black Lodge Trivia Sunday day. I figured that I would take a minute to, come on and run some solo stuff. As you can see right here, I've got Ironsworn Starforged pull up. And today I'm just going to do kind of the setting creation for my campaign and character creation for myself. So for those of you that don't know, kind of Ironsworn led the way in a lot of the solo stuff, at least as far as I'm aware. And Starforged is the sci-fi spinoff of it. So I've been on a bit of a sci-fi kick lately, so decided that I wanted to run a campaign. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know how long or how often I'll get to it, but I've made a couple of universes or worlds in this, and it's been a ton of fun. So I figured, what the hell? I'll throw it on with everybody and put it on the stream. Maybe somebody gets some interest out of it. Maybe not. And either way, we will have a good time. So hope everybody's doing well today. And I haven't told Matt and Art that I'm doing this, so hopefully they don't get too irritated, but we can throw them in this universe at some point. But like I said, just wanted to prioritize getting something done, getting something on, and I had a free Sunday, so I said, let's rock and roll. So Ironsworn Starforged. So we're going to go through, like I said, just kind of step by step making the universe. And if I make any issues, any problems, just let me know. Not going to be a ton of interesting VTT stuff. I tend to have a rough time with the VTT stuff just because, I don't spend as much time with it, frankly. I am still a Roll20 kid. But, I bought Foundry the other day and said, well, I'll learn how to do this. And I had to cancel on Art last minute. We were going to run some Electric Bastion Land. I'm hoping at some point that we can do that again. But like I said, right now, we're just going to roll with this. So let's go ahead and get started. So it says allow about 40 to 45 to 60 minutes for this exercise to kind of choose your truths. And this is the basic kind of setting rules. And I'm just going to throw them in a spreadsheet because, hey, I don't stare at spreadsheets enough during the week. So might as well do some more. So we're going to kind of call this just Whip World for now. Like I said, I have some kind of things, and I, of course, reserve the right to to select anything instead of roll for it. But generally speaking, I'm going to roll for it. And I'll go ahead and just, let me reach over off screen and grab some dice to do that, and I'll be right back. And look at that, I even got a dice tray with me. So a couple of default assumptions, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time with this, but it is a perilous future. So people have fled the galaxy as a whole, and they're at a kind of giant star cluster outside. It's not quite galaxy-sized, but it's close enough. It's a lonely future. Humans are the only intelligent life in the galaxy. There might be some other stuff, but that comes up, but it's mostly humans. A diverse feature, so lots of different cultures, lots of different people. It is far-flung, so it's very scattered and isolated. And go faster than light, but it's still kind of, you're not going to be able to go, like, I'm not going to be able to go back to the galaxy. I'm just going to be stuck in this forge that we're in. It's an unexplored future, so lots of unknown and uncharted. It's wondrous, so there's lots of mysteries. Lots of spacefaring creatures, not races, but creatures, interesting phenomenon, and just all sorts of other stuff. It's a retro future. So, when I say that or read that somewhere, I see and think of Alien, one of my favorite settings, one of my favorite universes to play in. So probably going to be some very 80s sci-fi vibes going on. Lots of consoles, lots of, very basic AI kind of stuff going around, and lots of kind of run down is how I picture it. It's unjust, so those in power hoard resources, control tech, and impose their will. Must stand against them, and it's hopeful. So despite these, hope remains. So there you go. So we have a bunch of truths that we're going to go through. There are 14 total things that we're going to go through, and I'll list them over here in the world. We have what caused the cataclysm, what caused the exodus, what communities look like, what iron looks like, what laws, religions, magic, communication and data, medicine, AI, war, life forms, precursors, and horrors rely in this universe. So it's just saying, hey, use some paper and 2 10-sided dice and have the character asset cards handy. Now, again, I'm going to be doing everything in just a Google sheet. I do have the asset cards here. They are lovely, very nicely done. So we'll rock and roll with that. So, and it says, hey, you can choose, roll, or customize. So we'll go through there. So it says, keep it moving. Conducted as a group activity. Well, it's just me. So conducted as a group activity of 1. Resolve the contradictions. And it lets me kind of come up with a character kind of idea. So we'll go from there. So I don't want to give off too much of this book either, just because of, I don't want to catch any kind of copyright or anything. So if I don't zoom in or don't show anything, then, and if you see me looking over here, I've got the studio open. So but we'll rock and roll here. So let's start with the cataclysm. And I'm going to roll off, I got some actual physical dice here. So let's just see what we get. So that's an 82. So a catastrophic war. Okay, that's pretty cut and dry. So cataclysm. And so over millennia, we consumed resources and shattered lives. We fueled the engines of industry, expansion, and war. In the end, a powerful foe took advantage of our rivalries in a violent bid for power. Fleeing the devastation, we assembled our fleets and traveled to the Forge, a new home, a fresh start. Final war, we were set upon by, and it has a bunch of options here, and nothing's really sticking out to me, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll. And that is a 62, so self-replicating nanomachines. So I kind of like that. I can roll with that. So self-replicating nanomachines fought us to a defeat in our galaxy. So there you go. So nothing crazy, nothing super earth-shattering yet. Just, I like that. Self-fighting nanomachines, cool, great. So we'll go past that. So that's the cataclysm. That's why we don't live where we used to. So now it's what the exodus looked like, what it looked like when we left, and how we got here. So we'll roll for that. It's a 63. And this is kind of one that I have liked in the past. So a ragtag fleet of ships propelled at tremendous speeds by experimental faster-than-light drives carried our ancestors to the Forge. The technology that powered those ships is said to be the source of the sundering, a fracturing of reality that plagues us here today. So in a couple of my other plays of this, I have enjoyed this very much. I like that kind of way to read the story. So, and I'm going to expand this here and make this whole thing wrap text so that I can actually read what the hell's going on. So yeah, let's wrap that. Cool. All right. So that means, too, that helps to say like, okay, hey, the faster than light drives, not great. We can use them to bop around the Forge, but not really go back, kind of puts a bar in place for that. So let's see what kind of communities are around in this setting. So that's an 86. We've made our mark on this galaxy with a storm we call balefires threaten to undo the progress, leaving our communities isolated and vulnerable. So starships navigate along bustling trade routes. They built burgeoning outposts on the fringes of known sectors, and bold spacers chart new paths into unexplored. This hard-earned success is threatened by chaotic balefires, intense energy anomalies that cut off trade routes and threaten entire planets. Okay. So read that as kind of everything's connected, but can be lost at a moment's notice, right? Like, I don't know how many of you are super familiar with like the Warhammer 40k lore these days, but like, I figure that as roving warp storms basically are cutting off trade from time to time. So that's cool. That gives kind of some options for future shenanigans. There we go. Let's wrap that text again. I thought I'd done that, but hey, let's do it again. And I'm going to make these so that they are centered. All right. So far so good. So this is kind of, an interesting, we had nanobots come and get us. The ships, we all left as quick as we could. We're better at making nano machines instead of, faster than light drives. Cool. All right. And then we've built up our mark and we have, it breaks down. So now this iron one I had thought about before. And I think if I'll roll, but I am going to, if I roll this Iron Blades one, I may use a mulligan. I don't know. Maybe I'll go for it. And of course, there it is. 40 iron vows are sworn upon totems crafted from enigmatic metal we call black iron. So it's ancient iron, living metal, cool. Remnants of the prized resources are found in precursor sites. Superheated plasma. All right, cool. So we swear that works. That's cool. So iron. So basically, a lot of what drives this game is these kind of vows that you make on your iron, which I think is a carryover from the original Iron Sworn, and it's really cool. Like that's how you drive the story forward. Is you swear these vows, you go and do stuff on these vows, and you play from there, right? Like most of your creation is in this iron. Okay. Laws. What does the universe look like that we're rolling? So kind of driven from this, we made our mark, but we lose isolation. I think I like this middle one. I think I'm going to choose it. I'm not going to do this Covenant one, and I don't think that we have a lot of... I don't want criminal factions and corrupt leaders to hold sway. I want there to be, local laws, and then these bounty hunters, right? So bounty hunters, which is probably, I don't know if I'll end up being a bounty hunter, but I like the idea that, the settled areas have law and order, but then we have lots of bounty hunters that are given kind of their own way. Religion. It's a 68. So 3 dominant religious orders. Hey, I like an early kind of, that gives a background struggle, right? Like, so I've got very normal laws, it seems, but maybe the big kind of, instead of big corporations driving anything, maybe it's these 3 religions that constantly battle over each other. So that's cool. Maybe I can make some political maps that align with that. Okay. Magic. We're not going to do magic. This is cool. But I want to play a sci-fi game. I don't want to play a sci-fi fantasy game. So magic does not exist. Just not feeling that. And a couple of the other ones I'd rolled, these Paragon things where people have, it's not magic, but it's, other stuff like, oh, they're psychic, or, they've got some mutations, or they've got ancient tech that lets them be magical seeming, but not feeling that on this. Communication and data, I am going to also do this one. I'm going to choose one, and I like this middle one here. I'll make this a little bit wider. Information is life. We rely on spaceborne couriers to transport messages and data across settlements. So maybe one of the techs that we lost in the galaxy before we left for the Forge is faster than light communication. And so what we have to do is rely on basically couriers. Now, I'm not super familiar with the Dune information, background. Just seen the 2 movies and read, all 3 movies, the 2, and then the old David Lynch one. And just that scene in the first new Dune movie where the Imperial couriers land on the planet and they roll out this scroll to say, "Hey, you guys have Arrakis now." Spoilers, by the way. That's just, it's ridiculous. They're going to spend $10 gajillion, 10 gajillion space bucks to fly somebody to give them, some basic information is kind of just ridiculous. So I like that a lot. I don't want to use data hubs or anything like this whole having couriers is just very interesting in this science fiction world. We're still relying on travelers, right? Let's roll some medicine. How is medicine looking? It's a 67. So we have rigors. Rigors create basic organ and limb replacements. So medical expertise is co-opted by privileged and powerful. All right, cool. You get a mechanical solution. Okay, that's cool. So that's very Star Wars-esque, right? Oh, yeah, you lost a hand. Here's a robot hand. And it sounds fairly crude. So I am down with that. That's pretty cool. Medicine. Okay. So we're starting to get some pretty cool information for this universe that we're in. Artificial intelligence. Let's see how we roll on that. That's a 58. Vestiges of advanced machine intelligence are coveted and wielded by those in power. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Lost a bunch of really cool tech when we left, and now we have this kind of nouveau. All right, that is pretty cool. Let's see what we can pull from here. All right. Yeah, it's a pretty neat way to make this. I like, unlike, and some of the ones that Art's done, which he's doing a great job. The Dragonborn solo, and I just finished listening to his One Ring Strider edition. Like, he's got a lot of really cool solo RPG stuff, and he usually comes into it with an idea. I'm all about random tables, and it's not a knock on anything he does or what I do. Mine's probably a terrible way to do it, but I really like random tables. So I'll pick and choose stuff as it goes. But I want to see what the dice kind of offer me story wise. So let's see. War. Let's see. That's a 57. Yeah, okay. Professional soldiers defend or expand holdings on their own. So lots of mercenary guilds. That works. So mercenary guilds. So more. My mercenary. And I kind of like that because that's, it's not going to make it ever present, right? It's not going to be anything, wars are going to be very unique, big, system altering truths, right? Life forms. Let's see what we get with this. 22. So perilous and inhospitable. Life in a forge is diverse, home to a vast array of creatures. Cruise through spaceborne life forms, riding in their wake. Even animals from our home world carried aboard Exodus ships have adapted to live. Okay, so basically that sounds very vanilla. Again, not a bad thing, but compared to some of the other options, it's very kind of standard plain Jane, which I'm okay with. I don't need dreadful forge spawn. Like, I don't need demon galaxies, or I don't need any kind of seeded and engineered. I'm okay. Let's see. Let's see what the precursors are. 95. Okay, the biomechanical life forms are called remnants, engineered by a civilization as weapons in a cataclysmic war, survived the death of their creators. Okay, so that's pretty cool, because that's fairly, again, not to pull from 40K a bunch, but I got a bunch of that on the mind. It's very Necron-y. So we got revenants riding around, and if you go to the precursor vaults, which that's like one of the dungeon kind of things you delve into, there'll be lots of these remnants. And finally we have horrors. That's a 77. Strange energies of the Forge give unnatural life to the dead. Soulbinders are an organization sworn to confront these horrifying. Okay, so I know I said no magic, and I have these biomechanical things, but then to have dead, like, zombie plagues is pretty cool. And then you got that gives you a soulbinder organization, and maybe that can transcend the 3 religions that we rolled up earlier. We'll come up with names for those and everything here in a minute. Not Horos. Horos Rancheros. All right. So that is kind of the truths done, I think. All right. So that's the universal truths of this setting that I'm creating. So again, nanomachines, ragtag group of ships that we ended up breaking reality with. Kind of the settled areas are settled and connected, but maybe these balefires, these fractures of reality, they spread or move, and that's what breaks our communication. We swear our vows on black iron totems. Okay. Again, we have kind of a couple of, it's not one giant centralized empire or anything. It's lots of small domains. So that makes it very cool. But the main thing is the bounty hunters. And maybe the bounty hunters are the soulbinders. I don't know. 3 dominant religions. No magic. Spaceborne couriers. You get mechanical rigging, no artificial intelligence except for those wielded by those in power. Mercenary guilds, life finds a way, and that's Q. Life finds a way. Remnants and those that are undead. So cool. So we got lots of cool horrific things. Let's change this title to Truths. And that's that. I guess we could come up with, we could go in and fill out some details for these things. I think I will go ahead and proceed. I'll come back to that. So we need to create a character. And that's pretty cool. So let's make a new sheet here. We'll call this character for now. And I'm not going to use again, I'm probably just going to work everything out of this spreadsheet eventually. So I will, go from there. So what are the things that we're going to need? I'm going to need a name. I'm going to need a profession. I'll do the thing I said I wasn't going to do and zoom in here. Pronouns, I'm always he, him. So, call sign. characteristics, and then we'll do the stats here. Edge, heart, iron, shadow, and then whatever the last one is. And we'll come back to all of this. Okay, I have the asset cards. I'll take screenshots and throw them in here. And we'll go from there. So we've got the asset paths. All right. So like I said earlier, I am a big fan of rolling stuff. So let's go ahead. And this is, I'm going to pick my 2 assets from whatever I roll here. So get a 50. An occultist. Interesting. Okay. So the assets that I'm going to take as an occultist are outcast and shade. So I'll come in here. I don't need the spaceship stuff. So I need shade and what was that other one? Outcast. All right. So let me grab outcast and we'll go through all these real quick. All right, let's where's my copy button? Copy, paste. Okay, so there's one. Make it a little bit smaller. And I need the shade. Okay, so and we'll double check these here in a second. But let's see here. So the outcast, when you hearten in isolation, you may attempt to find solace in fond memories or a hopeful wish. Yeah, okay. So, all right, I will be able to hearten by myself, basically. And then finally, I have the shade, drawing on esoteric energies, instantly cloak in a shadowy veil. You're veiled. And so maybe instead of a esoteric energy, just to fall in line with my truths, maybe I've got some of those nanobots that we talked about previously that let me kind of hide myself, right? So I can do that. That's pretty cool. Backstory prompts. All right, cool. Let's see what we've got for a backstory. 45. I have no memory of my former life. Interesting. Okay. So I know there's going to be one thing there. So yeah, I like that. So I'll say, just do this thing where everything wraps. So I have no memory life or where I come from. And that's cool. That makes it easy. Bold that. Okay, so that makes it super easy to, don't need to think of that right now. So maybe that helps me come up with like, okay, well, how am I a shade? Where did that come from? Because again, in my no magic universe, that's a little strange, right? So let's go from there. What do we want to do next? Building a backstory for other characters. Don't need to worry about that. So now I need to write a vow, which is kind of what drives my character. In all senses, like what's my background motivation, right? So and it says it might take months, years, or decades to see this vow fulfilled or forsaken. So I'm going to say, I wonder if there's early on the Oracle tables. Let's go roll on some Oracle tables. Let's go just because I like randomness. So this is roll once on this table and once on the action and once on the theme. So let's see what we get here. So it's a 64. So manipulate and 20. Manipulate my debt. So maybe I have no memory of where I come from. However, upon my first memory is of being stamped with a debtor chip. That can't be removed or altered. So I have no memory of a previous life or where I come from. However, my first memory is being stamped with a debtor chip that can't be removed or altered. I don't know what it is or what will happen when it is cleared. So my background vow is I will repay or manipulate my debt and free myself from it. Cool. That's pretty cool. It's very altered carbon. Let's come back to this. And I am at my starship. All right, that's pretty cool. So, starship. I'm going to go ahead and make another thing for the starship, just because it's going to be its own unique thing. Let's go ahead and roll how I got this. That's a 5. Acquired, and see, I don't know what my precious heirloom would be. So let's flip that. What's a 50? Found abandoned in perfect condition. So, ship type. And I'll come up with some, I like to fill out random crazy stuff. So we'll do that here in a second. History. Imperfect. Outside, and I'll say found in perfect condition outside of where I woke up from my debt chipping. I assume it's mine, because hey, that's if it was there and nobody else took it, that's weird. But I like that. So I got a perfect ship. Let's go ahead and call a name. We'll come up with a name here in a bit. And what does it look like? I'll do. I'll do a couple of these actually. Let's do. How many should I do? Let's do D3. We'll do 3 on this. So we're going 80. So it's powered by an ancient precursor device. It is 17. The gravity generator is notoriously fickle. Let's do one more because I like random tables. 37. Okay, looks defenseless. But outer panels open to reveal weapons. That's cool. That's Very, very neat. Let's merge those. All right. Cool. And it's got a starship name oracle, so let's go. Let's go look at that. Now, some of these are kind of dumb, but we'll use that as a baseline. 75. The Shattered Star, like that one. That's silly. I don't like that. Let's roll again. 53. You know what's funny is I was looking at that, and that's Newton's Folly, and that's very funny because the gravity generator doesn't work. So that's pretty funny. Well, you know, it's a spaceship, so we'll bold that, italicize it. That's cool. So Newton's Folly. So one of the other things I need to go grab is the basic starship module. My command vehicle. Let's snag that. Copy. Paste. Okay, so I have just for the kids at home that are looking at this, you have an armed multi-purpose spaceship suited for interstellar and atmospheric flight. Comfortably transportable several people, have space for cargo, carry and launch support vehicles. In advance, I can equip this vehicle with module assets. Now, one of the last things I get is I can take one more as part of my final asset. I get to pick either a module for my starship, a support vehicle, a companion, or a path. And I think let's roll to see what I get. So I'll do a deep one through 3. I'll do one of the first two. 4, 5, 6. I'll do the others. Okay, so it's going to be a module or a support vehicle, and it's going to be a module for the starship. So let's go look at what we can do. So I have grappler, heavy cannons. Am I going to be getting into spaceship fights? Expanded holds, engine upgrades, AI overseer, missile array, med bay, shields, stealth tech. That's pretty cool. Or a workshop. I like the stealth tech idea. So we're going to have a stealthy spaceship, which is pretty cool. I like a stealthy spaceship. That makes sense to me. There we go. Cool. So now I need to set my steps or my stats. Last stat was wits. So, and I'm going to use standard array, so 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. We have edge, which is quickness, agility, prowess, and fighting at a distance. Heart is courage, willpower, empathy, sociability, loyalty. Iron is physical strength, aggressiveness, and fighting close quarters. Shadow is sneakiness, deceptiveness, and cunning. And then wits is expertise, knowledge, and observation. So I think I'm going to put a 3 just right out the gate in my shadow because I'm a sneaky boy. I'm going to be so sneaky. Just because that makes sense to me. I'm a shade, I'm an outcast. I'm basically playing a rogue is what this sounds like. And I've never played a rogue, so this should be interesting. So I'll put a 2 in edge and a 2 in wits, which means I have a 1 in heart and iron. So that should be interesting. Interessante. Okay, condition meters. Put that in down here. So, health, spirit, and supply. Now these are going to be, they're tracked. momentum. And then we have the ship integrity, which we'll come back to, because that's going to be 5. So health, spirit, everything, all of these are 5, and momentum is 2, +2, +2. We have momentum, rest, reset is a 2, and the max momentum is 10. And again, I assume these things will come into play as we, actually start playing the game. Finally, we have a look, act, and wear. And let's see what I want to do with those. How are we doing on time? About 41 minutes. Okay. We'll be able to make the starting sector too, I think. That's pretty cool. So let's go look at the oracles, because I like oracles. So let's look at characters. So I got a look, an act, and a wear. So let's roll 2 times on the look, see what we are. So that's a 23 and a 71. Oh, so I'm attractive and shifty. That's right. That works for me. So shifty, attractive. Cool. I've never been either of those things. I'm just kidding. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's look at what else we have. A couple of name generators here. I think that's probably... What am I wearing? Let's find that out. Let's see. If I am... let's see. I thought that there was another kind of table for that, but I don't think that there is. So let's. We'll just say I'll be in a kind of standard look space trucker aesthetic. So I'm picturing what kind of everybody is wearing in, again, the first Alien movie. There we go. So kind of coveralls or shirt jacket kind of thing, kind of dingy, kind of gross, not really taken care of. Better things to take care of. So let's do some names then. So names and a call sign. So first name, 80. I am Rikuro. Rikuro 76. Braddock? No, don't like that. 41. Savarin? Yeah, okay. Rikuro Savarin. And what is my call sign? Oh, double zeros. Albatross. Okay. And now I guess that would be 100 actually. Zephyr? No, Albatross is better. That's cool. And you can call me Al. My friends call me Savarin. My mother calls me Rikuro. But you can call me Al. All right. gear up. So that's pretty much there. So let's look at gear. So you get a sealed enviro suit. Sealed enviro suit, not seal. That would be funny. Can't spell worth a damn today. I get a flashlight, not a flashlight. I get a toolkit, a med kit, and a personal communicator. Okay. Okay. And again, I'm a shade, so outcast. I don't have any kind of weapons that says, so you're equipped and armed as appropriate vision for your character. So, okay. I don't remember if there is a kind of like weapons or anything, so let's go use a fill in the blanks. Post character, Let's see what other random oracles we have. The core oracles. Let's throw up a couple of descriptors. 30. How about decaying or depleted? I like depleted. What can I do from that? Depleted. Do we use slug throwers in this? I think we do. Probably, again, similar to the retro-futuristic aliens. One, so maybe a depleted slug thrower pistol. So maybe I don't have too many charges left on it. But that's that. And then what does my black iron token look like? I'm going to use my debtor's chip and do black iron. That's when I swear vows, it's to my debtor's chip. Okay. Do it on time. 48 minutes. All right. So we have Albatross. We have my Universal Truths. We have my Starship. Let's change this to Al. Albatross Severin. And Newton's Folly. All right. 30 minutes to build a starting sector. Okay, we can run that through real quick. So choose a starting region. So let's do sector X, Y, Z, just to make this. So we're going to have location. So it's in the Terminus, Outlands, Expanse, or the Void. Don't start your campaign there. Okay. If you want to face interacting with other people, start here. Spacer, start here. Lonely Exploration, start here. Oh, so okay, so Outlands. Okay, so as an Outlands, we're going to have 3 settlements. Okay, so we'll just put 3 off to the side there. All right, and we're going to have to come back to this page a bunch. because of what's going on. Oh, I can't bookmark on. Okay. So let's just look at page 118. Okay, so each one of these is going to have a name, location, pop, authority, and project 1, project 2. Okie dokie. And we'll do this real quick. So that's all the worlds. Mark the page. 7 oracles. Okay. Reveal those aspects. Okay, then we'll have planets. So I'm going to add a row here for planet. And then we can do planet details off to the side over here. Okay. So let's start. Settlement name. So this is for the first one, which is a 28. Forlorn, of course. Forlorn what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there's 10 of those. Perfect. Forlorn port. Cool. That works. We'll come back to the planet. The location is 46 orbital. That's cool. Population 78 on the Outlands. That is thousands. The authority says don't fill out any of this other stuff. 35 tolerant. Okay. And a couple of projects. We'll do this twice. So 18 energy. Second project is 63. 69. Nice. Salvage. Okay. Okay. And we do this a couple more times. Oops. Don't know why. There we go. So let's come up with another name on this settlement. 76. Rockholm. We'll just leave that by itself. So 66. Just another orbital. A 45 for the pop. Hundreds. The authority. 41. I think that's going to be tolerant again. Yeah. This is like the training wheels sector, it sounds like. 70 or 27 for the first project. Entertainment, okay. And 37. Exploration. Don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to swap. We're going to do entertainment, salvage, and then we're going to do energy and exploration on the smaller station. That makes more sense to me. And let's do it one more time. And I am probably, once I do the planet, that'll be that for me today. Planet name, damn, I keep losing those tables. There we go. Settlement name. It's 56. Nix. I'm going to call it Wayward Nix. And a location on this one. Go up a couple. It's 80. That's a deep space station. Okay. And that's a 35. So dozens. Okay, cool. So this is a much smaller station. Now authority is a 79. That's going to be interesting. So corrupt, excellent. Starting to make some mental images for this. First project's an 85. Surveillance, even better. Excellent, excellent. And the last thing that we're doing, 82. Subsistence, that doesn't make any sense. 11. Black market. Perfect. All right, so Wayward Nix is a deep space station with a corrupt government that provides surveillance and black market. Rockhome is an orbital station with hundreds of people with a tolerant person for energy and exploration. And then we have Forlorn Port, which is an orbital station with thousands of people. That's all about entertainment and salvage. Makes sense to me. Okay. So I have 2 planets I need to generate. And then I'll generate a star. And that's passages, and then I got to pick one of the settlements to zoom in on. Okay. So let's do this. Let's generate some planets. So my first planet is a 68, a jungle world. Okay. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to name it. So we'll do this. We'll come up with a name for this. So 54, somewhere right in the middle. About Tangle. That's silly enough. Tangle information. So Tangle. It's a jungle planet with an ideal atmosphere. And we know that it has Forlorn Port in orbit above it. And we have a couple of other options here. Okay, so Tangle, and let's go ahead and bold this, and let's make it a different color so I remember to come and look at that. So bold, we'll just color code it in so that okay, Tangle will go there to there. Okay, the atmosphere on Tangle, 92. Ideal. Cool. The first observable from space is a 42. So massive canyons. What else is observable from space? A 40. Well, that's also massive canyons. So we will not do a second observation. So let's delete that cell and shift up. So planet side features 92, descriptor and focus. Okay. 29, decaying. 86, decaying technology. Interesting. Okay. Oops, lost my train here. Let's go look at Planet Oracle. This is a jungle world. Okay. And then the other planet side feature, 77, torrential rainstorms. Okay. And then finally, life, 26, diverse. Interesting. Okay. That makes sense for Tangle. So it's kind of a perfect jungle world with lots of giant canyons. This is very Yavin 4 Star Wars silliness, which I can get behind. So let's go from there to this second planet. Which is a 67. That's a jungle world. We're not going to do 2 jungle worlds. 38. Oh. Ice world. Okay. Let's look at a name. 90. So that's towards the back. So we'll call it a'CTUAL. It's funny. I laugh because I used to really want to play a system called Primeval a'CTUAL. And that was one of the systems that I really wanted to play. So let's just take that and go there. All right. Let's grab these. Put them there. All right. So what is my atmosphere on a'CTUAL? 85. Breathable. Okay, we already know that there is a orbital settlement above a'CTUAL. 99 for our special observation. A precursor, an orbital precursor vault. Oh my. That's exciting. So that means we'll have another layer. Right here on a'CTUAL. I'll make it a little bit lighter. So we have its scale. We'll come back to this. We'll finish the planet side ops for this and then come back. What other? Let's see if we have another observe from space that makes sense. 73. Vibrantly colored ice. Sure. We'll insert cells. I like that. Planet side feature. 18. Clusters of ice spikes. Okay. Ice spikes. Makes sense. 49. Preserved carcasses. Okay, so it's really gold. And life. If whatever this comes up with, I have it. Yeah, extinct. That's what I was thinking. Excellent. So then the orbital precursor vault. Let's come back to that. Let's go look and see what that looks like. All right, so we have a scale of the precursor vault. Oh my. A vast site of unfathomable complexity. Well, it sounds like we have a nice mega dungeon to go look at, which I can get with. All right, form. It is a giant machine. Interesting. Okay. What is the shape? It is a giant ring. The material. It is made of 52 smooth metal. And the outer first look. A cavernous opening. Interesting. Okay, I'm not going to do any more with that because I think I'd get too deep. Okay, maybe I can do one more. Outer first look. It doesn't. I thought 31. It says embedded within terrain. I don't like that. Let's do encased with an energy field. Okay, and then last but not least, we got no planet for Wayward Nix. So let's go up here. Generate symbol details. Okay, we did that. Sector map. I had to create some passages. So there's 2 passages because it's the outlands, and one of them has to connect out. So I'm going to say I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Insert another row in here. Just call it connections. And I think, Forlorn Port seems to be, so we'll connect out and to Rock Home. And the only other connection that we'll have is to Forlorn Port. That makes the most sense to me. So no connection yet to Wayward Nix. We'll start in Forlorn Port. We can get to Rock Home. Yeah. So now we need to zoom in on. I'm going to make that the connections red, just so that it's something that I take point of. So now I need to do first look and settlement trouble. So insert. So first look, trouble. And we'll have a connection, and I'll do some connections on the next page, and then a sector trouble. Alright, so we're almost through with this, and we'll call it a day. So, first look. 79. Sprawling structures. Interesting. On a space station, basically. And a 94. Descriptor and a focus. Okay. 37. Ensnaring. Not loving that. Let's see what we get. Snaring wreckage. What's next to an expansive? Expansive wreckage. So we got sprawling structures and expansive. Maybe they built this station out of a bunch of broken stuff. And then the settlement trouble. 1. Battle for leadership. Okay. Cool. That's a nice little thing. So we got to create a local connection. Just going to be an NPC. So we'll make another page here for connections. So role rank. Name, location, role, rank, characteristics. Let's see what the role is here on Forlorn. 20. He's a diplomat. That makes sense. Oops. That's cool. So we have a diplomat. And maybe let's call him a union boss, actually. For the Shipbreakers Guild. And give him a rank. There was a... He's going to be troublesome. That's the lowest one. He's on Forlorn Hope, which I can pull from. And I'll color code the Forlorn port. Color code the settlements just so it's a little bit easier. So then he needs a name and some characteristics. So we're going to call him Goal. Look. Second look, if I could type. Aspect 1, aspect 2. Okay. So let's go see what his first look is. 86. Okay. Visibly disabled. All right, well that makes sense because he's a wrecker. So maybe he got hurt on the job, and then that's why he ended up being the union boss. Second look is a 75. So he's slight. Okay. Initial disposition. We'll come to that when we get there. Character goal. 32. I think I'm going to come over here and actually do defeat a rival. And aspects. 31. Determined. Makes sense. Aspect 2. 37. Experience. Okay, cool. Interesting. So I just need a name. 76. So Quinn. 59. Quinn Hobbs. And hey, what the hell? I'll put in a call sign. Tab here. Maybe we do a lot of... We don't use names here. He's touchdown. Okay. Touchdown Hobbs. Okay. Interesting. So what else do I need to do? Rank, choose the connection zone, perfect, name, next steps. And then, all right, so we got Quinn Hobbs, who's going to be kind of what starts the story for us on Forlorn Port, in orbit around the planet Tangle in the... Oh, I need a sector and a sun. So let's do one last thing. So let's look at the sector trouble. 44. Notorious Pirate Clan. Okay. That works. You look at the star, and then we can wrap it up for the day. Star, generate star. Okay. Now let's figure out what we got here. It's a 14. Smoldering red star. And we go in and name the planet. And finally, we have a sector name. Our prefix 41. The Forgotten. Mm, 31. The Forgotten Flow. And the star's name. Surely there was an oracle for naming stars. One opportunity. Let's use a... There's kind of grave worlds. Call it... The star's name is Morgan. And this is the sector Forgotten Flow. Okay. So we have come up with just about everything, I think. we'll have to come up with an inciting accident. A couple of other things to come up with, like, I've got some, what the other leadership looks like, what Quinn Hobbs is wanting to tell me, and just what we can do with that. And I think that might do it for me. So we're going to call this, I need to come up with the universe name for this. So I'll go to the sector name thing and roll a silly name for this. 71. Outer 61. The Outer Oasis. And that's probably what I'll name this whole kit and caboodle. So I think Albatross is ready to kind of get going on this, figuring out how to pay his debt chip. Maybe a bunch of other people have these debt chips. Run with the Newton's Folly. Oh, I need to come up with a name. Let's go find one more oracle, and then we'll rock out of here. Let's see. I don't think, maybe not. We'll come up with something for that. But yeah. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this universe build here while we're going through it. I am Patrick from Black Lodge Trivia Night. Looking forward to seeing where Albatross and the Newton's Folly get into trouble in the Forgotten Flow sector. Usual stuff applies. Like, subscribe if you're seeing this on YouTube. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Make sure to share it. Join our Discord. You can find me on Twitter. You can find everybody else on Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever. Yeah. Thanks very much, and y'all have a great rest of your day. Thanks.
The music during the RPG session in Foundry was provided by the Foundry module Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find his Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music, all one word.